Officer Daniel worked night shift in a small town. Most nights were quiet, but one night changed him forever. At 2:35 a.m., the police received a call. A child is crying in the house next to mine. Please check. It's been hours. The address was Maple Lane 13, an old house that everyone avoided. People said a family once lived there, but they had died in a fire. Daniel didn't believe in ghosts, so he drove there alone. When he reached the house, he heard it. A child's crying. Soft, then loud, then screaming. Daniel used his flashlight. The windows were broken and the door was half burned. The crying continued, echoing through the walls. He tried the door, locked. He shouted, "Police, open the door!" The crying stopped suddenly. Silence. Daniel kicked the door open. Inside, the air felt cold like winter. Burn marks were everywhere. He searched room to room. Nobody. Then the crying started again, now from upstairs. He ran up quickly, but the sound moved away, like something was running from him. He followed the sound to a child's bedroom. Toys were melted, the bed burned. He saw something on the wall, small black handprints, fresh, sticky, like soot from a fire. The crying suddenly turned into laughter, a horrible laugh that sounded too old for a child. Daniel panicked and backed out. When he reached his car, he radioed the station. "There's someone inside. I need backup." The dispatcher answered, confused. "Officer Daniel, that house was demolished 2 nights ago." He looked back. The house behind him was gone. Only an empty burnt lot remained. No walls, no roof, no house. Daniel froze. He checked his body, ash on his clothes, soot on his hands. He had just walked inside a house that didn't exist. Later, an old neighbor told him, "A little boy burned with his toys in that house. People hear him crying every night. But if you follow the sound, he never lets you leave." Officer Daniel left the police force 2 weeks later. He still wakes up at night to the sound of that child, crying, then laughing. Officer Sarah worked highway patrol. One foggy night, she stopped a speeding car on Route 19. The driver, a scared young man, said, "Officer, I think there's someone in my back seat. Please look." Sarah pointed her flashlight through the back window. There was a woman sitting silently in the dark. She wore a long white dress. Her hair covered her face. She didn't move an inch. Sarah opened the back door. "Empty. No one is here," she said. The man started crying in fear. "I saw her. She was whispering to me. She said the road is thirsty." Sarah thought he was just tired or drunk. She checked his license and asked him to follow her to the station. He slowly drove behind her. The fog got thicker. Sarah checked her mirror and gasped. A woman in white was sitting behind the man again. Her head slowly turned, staring at Sarah through the windshield. Sarah blinked, and she was gone. Suddenly, the man's car swerved violently and crashed into a ditch. Sarah rushed to him. He was dead, but not from the crash. His neck was broken, face frozen in terror. But the worst part, someone had written on the inside window with a finger, "She was thirsty." Sarah called backup. While waiting, she looked into the back seat again. Here were wet footprints on the seat, like someone had been sitting there dripping water. The dispatcher then told her, "Route 19, 10 years ago, a bride drowned in the river near there. Since then, she appears to drivers who are alone. If you see her, she follows you home." Sarah couldn't sleep for weeks. Every night she checks the back seat of her patrol car before she sits, because sometimes she hears water drip behind her. Drop, drop, drop. Officer Luis responded to a missing child case. A 6-year-old girl named Emily had vanished from her bedroom overnight. Her mother cried nonstop. She wouldn't run away. Someone took her. Luis and his partner searched the house. Everything looked normal, except one thing. A locked basement door with heavy iron chains. Fresh ones, like someone recently put them there. Luis asked the mother, "What's downstairs? Why is this locked?" She whispered, shaking, "My husband locked it before he died. He said, 'Something is living down there.'" The girl's mother gave them the key, but begged them not to open it. They unlocked the chains and opened the basement. The smell hit them first, rotten, wet, like old blood. The basement was dark and dirty. As they walked down the stairs, Luis heard scratching like nails scraping concrete. Then he found a small shoe, Emily's. They moved deeper. Suddenly the lights flickered. In the corner they saw a shape, a figure crouched on the floor, human but twisted. Long arms, thin legs. Its head turned strangely as if bones were broken. It smiled at them with too many teeth. Luis pointed his gun. The figure whispered, "She likes to play, but she cries too much." Then they saw Emily, tied behind the creature, but alive. When they tried to rush toward her, the basement door slammed shut by itself. Darkness. Emily screamed. Luis fired his flashlight, but the creature was gone. Emily was now suddenly in Luis's arms, like someone pushed her into him. They ran upstairs, locked the door, and called backup. Later, police searched the basement again. Nothing was there. No chains, no smell, no marks, as if the place cleaned itself. Emily could only say one sentence. "Daddy locked the door because the monster lives with us now." The family left the house. Luis never forgot the creature's smile. Sometimes late at night, he hears the same scratching sound under his floor, nails dragging closer. Officer James worked in a large city. He often responded to noise complaints in a decayed apartment building on Oak Street. Drug users, thieves, strange people, he had seen everything. But apartment 404 was different. Every new tenant left within a week. Some screamed at night, some begged to move out immediately, some disappeared. One night a call came. "We hear someone crying inside 404, but no one lives there." James arrived with a security guard. The hallway lights flickered. The air smelled like dust and mold. He knocked. Knock, knock. No answer, only crying from inside. He forced the door up. The room was completely empty. No furniture, no curtains, nothing. But the crying sounded like it came from the center of the room. James shined his flashlight. He noticed the walls were covered in tiny scratch marks, thousands of them, like fingernails trying to escape. He radioed for backup. "Hello? Is someone here?" he called. The crying stopped. Something whispered behind him, "Turn off the light." James spun around, but no one was there. The security guard stepped back, shaking. The voice came again. "Please, turn it off. It hurts." James kept the light on. He backed toward the door when suddenly, slam! The door shut by itself and locked tight. The flashlight flickered, then died. Total darkness. Then he heard footsteps running toward him. He tried to reopen the door, but something grabbed his leg. Long fingernails dug into his skin. He screamed and kicked wildly. The emergency lights came on, red, dim, terrifying. The room was now full of people. All standing, all silent, all facing him. Their eyes were pale white, their bodies covered in scratches. James unlocked the door and ran into the hallway with the guard. They called for a full building evacuation. But when backup arrived, room 404 was sealed with bricks, completely closed. No door, no way someone could enter. City records showed 404 was never built due to unsafe structure. James looked down at his leg. Fresh scratch marks, deep ones. But the skin around them wasn't bleeding. It was burned, as if no human hand had touched him. He quit night shifts soon after. Sometimes he hears that same whisper when he turns off the lights. "Don't leave me alone in the dark." Officer Maria worked in emergency dispatch. Her job was answering 911 calls at night. One evening, she received a call from a police radio code that made her heart drop. Unit 17. She knew that unit. Officer Kevin Turner. He died 3 years ago during a robbery case. Everyone at the station still remembered him. The call crackled. "Dispatch, this is Unit 17. I need backup." Maria froze. "That must be a mistake," she said to herself. She asked, "Unit 17, state your location." Silence. Then a strained reply, "Hurry, I'm bleeding." Maria checked the system, but Unit 17 didn't exist anymore. She tried again. "Where are you, Kevin?" Another voice came, a whisper full of pain. "Gas station, Route 6, he's coming back." Maria called officers nearby and sent them to investigate. She kept listening. Sirens echoed from the radio. Officers arrived within minutes. The gas station was abandoned. One officer checked inside and found fresh blood near the counter. Then they found something worse. Officer Kevin's old badge, bloody, scratched. His police car number 17 was printed on it. Maria's headset suddenly filled with loud static, then Kevin's final words. "He killed me. Don't let him hurt anyone again." Maria cried. She remembered Kevin's case. He was shot by a masked robber who was never caught. Later at the station, security cameras showed something terrifying. At the exact time of the call, a patrol car drove into the parking lot. Car number 17. Its engine turned off. No one stepped out. Then 1 minute later, it vanished. No tire marks, no trace. Maria still answers calls every night, but whenever radio static appears, she whispers, "Thank you, Kevin. I'm listening." Officer Tom guarded a hospital morgue overnight after a violent crime. The victim was a man found dead in the woods. His body showed strange marks, like something attacked him. At 3 a.m., the morgue door alarm beeped. Someone was trying to open it from inside. Tom looked through the small glass window. The dead body was standing facing the door. He stepped back in shock. His hands shook as he called the staff. They arrived, but when the door was unlocked, the body was lying down again. Doctors said Tom was just tired. But soon after they left, bang at the door. A loud thud, like someone throwing their full weight against it. Tom warned, "Stay inside! You're not alive anymore." Another bang, then a deep voice, "Let me out." Tom pointed his gun at the door, terrified. The security camera above flickered, glitching. Then he saw scratches appear on the metal from the inside, long and sharp like claws. He shouted again, shaking, "You're dead! Stay still!" The banging stopped. Silence. He checked the camera monitor. The body was gone from the table. Gone. Tom ran to the hallway cameras. The body was walking slowly down the hall, head tilted, dragging one broken foot. Doctors rushed with emergency staff. They surrounded the man, trying to hold him down. His eyes opened, but the pupils were completely black. He whispered, "The forest, still hungry." His heart then stopped again. He collapsed, truly dead this time. The doctors strapped the body to the table with heavy restraints. Tom kept watch all night. He stared at the still body until it smiled, a dead man smiling. Tom quit the morgue job after that night. He now refuses to go near hospitals, because when he sleeps, he hears leaves rustling, like something from the forest is searching for him again. Officer David responded to a strange call from a quiet neighborhood. An old woman said someone was standing behind her shower curtain. Her voice shook. "I live alone. Please hurry." David arrived and checked every room. Nothing dangerous. But the woman pointed to the bathroom. "She's still there, behind the curtain," she whispered. The curtain was closed. A shadow shape stood behind it, very still, like a person hiding. David shouted, "Police, come out slowly." No movement. He grabbed the curtain and pulled it open. Nobody. Empty bathtub. No one. The woman began crying. "You don't see her? She's right there. She's staring at you." David calmed her and stayed until she slept. Then he left. Next night, same call, same bathroom, same shadow. David turned on the bright lights. No one again. He asked the woman about it. She said, "It started after my daughter died. She loved hiding behind curtains to scare me." David felt sympathy but thought it was trauma. 1 week later, another call. This time, David brought a partner. While checking the bathroom, David turned away for a second. His partner screamed. David looked back. The shower curtain was closed again, and a face pressed against it from the inside. Long black hair spilled over the top. David pulled his gun. "Come out, now!" The curtain rustled, then slowly opened. A young girl stepped out, so pale, wet hair, dressed dirty and rotten. She stared at David and whispered, "She doesn't want to be alone." The lights flickered. David rushed forward, but the girl suddenly vanished into the air. They searched for hours, nothing. The old woman was found unconscious on the floor, breathing but cold. When she woke up, she smiled strangely. "She's home now. My baby came back." David checked the bathroom. On the mirror written with wet fingerprints, "Now you see me." David transferred to a different district. He still avoids bathrooms with curtains. Officer Rob worked long night patrols in a rural town. Roads were empty, radio mostly silent. One night, a call came through, screaming, terrified, long and painful. Rob radioed back, "Dispatch, who is this?" The screaming continued, louder, like someone being killed. He could hear words, "Help, he's cutting me, help." Rob demanded a location, but the radio only played the scream. Backup officers heard it too. All units searched the town, nothing. The next night, same screaming, same voice, same terror. Audio experts checked the recording. They said something chilling. "This clip is 20 years old. It is Officer Mark's last radio call, right before he was murdered." Officer Mark was stabbed by a serial killer and died on radio. His killer was never caught. Rob thought maybe someone was playing a prank, but on the third night, the screaming stopped suddenly, then breathing, slow, heavy. Right beside him, as if someone was sitting in his patrol car. Rob froze. A whisper came through the speaker. "He is here." Rob looked at the dark road. Something stood under the streetlight, a tall figure with a long coat, holding a knife. Rob turned on the siren and drove fast. The figure vanished, but then a handprint appeared on the inside of his window, bloody and fresh. Rob radioed in panic, and the same scream repeated again. Experts checked radio logs. No signals were sent. The recordings had no audio trace, yet Rob and other officers heard them clearly. Some officers believe Officer Mark is trying to warn them, but Rob thinks something E-Killer never died. He is still out there, waiting for another radio call. Officer Ethan transported a dead body to a morgue after a car accident. The victim, a young man, had no ID, only a cross necklace. While driving, the covered body suddenly moved. Ethan heard a soft voice, "Stop the car." Ethan slammed the brakes. He slowly checked the back. The body bag had shifted. The zipper was halfway open. He zipped it again, shaking, continued driving. 5 minutes later, Ethan. The dead man whispered his name. Ethan nearly fainted. He checked the radio. "Dispatch, the body is moving." No answer, only static. Then the body bag started rising. The zipper opened from the inside. Hands pushed out. Ethan jumped out of the car and pointed his gun. The body sat upright, eyes open, black and lifeless. It whispered, "This body isn't mine." Ethan tried to calm himself. "What do you want?" The corpse pointed to the cross necklace. "He killed me, but took my place." Ethan realized the spirit inside the body wasn't the same as the body itself. The entity continued, "Find my real body, or he will take another life." The corpse fell silent again, truly dead. At the morgue, doctors found strange things. The victim's fingerprints didn't match any record. The face wasn't real, skin stretched unnaturally, but the teeth were human, from someone else. The necklace had dried blood engraved inside, spelling a name, Daniel Hart. Police searched that name. They found a missing person report, someone who looked exactly like the spirit described, but his body was never found. Ethan still gets nightmares. The corpse sitting up, the voice knowing his name, and the final whisper before silence, "He will wear another skin soon." Ethan now believes some killers don't just murder, they replace the victims.